Hey guys, this is Mila the Magician, and we're in the Theezenden. Welcome to the Zen. You are safe here, the Zen, where the magic happens. Da-na-na. Hey, and today we're just gonna talk some real shit. I'm gonna just talk to y'all about my birth story with my daughter Cayenne. And in that story, there's a lot. All right, we're in the shadow work stage. We're in the Theezenden, right? So I've told this story many times, but I'm telling it in a more transparent, more vulnerable space because I want people to be able to look at my experiences and see what I've been through, and also be able to mirror off of that and know that they're not the only person who goes through certain things. So let's start from the top. When I got pregnant with my daughter Cayenne, I was 19 years old and I was fresh in my first place. Me and my best friend at the time had a 2-bedroom house. We was real fly up the street from St. Aug. I had my own car. I worked at a call center. And I was pretty much just living life. I was in a space where I had left home and didn't go back to school, didn't go back to college because of financial aid reasons. Shout out to Howard University. And it was a very much so a space where I was coming into my own. I was coming into who I was. I was trying to figure out what that was. And for a long time, they told me that I wouldn't be able to have children. So I just didn't really think it was a possibility. I didn't really care about the birth control aspect. My mom had me on the birth control aspect more for my cramps and for regularity than it was for actual birth control. I didn't really take it seriously and I didn't really care. When me and my daughter's father started having sex, we really didn't use protection. We didn't really care. We didn't talk about it. And then I popped up pregnant. When I popped up pregnant, went to the doctor's office the first time for the ultrasound, and she looked around, and then she was like, well, I want to talk to you in the office. And I was like, okay. So we go into her office, and she's like, well, just you. So I go in the office by myself, and she tells me that I'm having a miscarriage and that at some point, I was going to start bleeding. So I have a whole meltdown. I come out crying. I never forget, like, literally falling to my knees in the doctor's office. I was so upset because I'm pregnant, and we had got excited, and we're having a baby and all these different things. And I went home thinking I was having a miscarriage. I told my mom that I was pregnant, and she drove 8 hours from Pennsylvania to North Carolina to make me pee on a stick to prove to her that I was pregnant, and I was. And I told her that I was having a miscarriage, and she was like, well, you need to go back and get a DNC. You can't be walking around with all those, all that stuff in you or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So I scheduled my DNC, and I decided to go back to the hospital to get my DNC. And when I got there was my daughter Cayenne with her heart beating real hard, real loud. And I had never started bleeding. I never started going through any process of the miscarriage. And what they told us was that she was a twin, that she had either absorbed her twin or the twin passed, and I just didn't bleed it out. But that we were going to have a baby. And we went through all of the different psychological ups and downs of that, being 19 and having a baby. I ended up getting fired from my call center job because of quality. And so then I was just staying at home. I was on bed rest with me having my conditions. They put me on bed rest, and they told me that I need to relax and to calm down, need to stay cool. But my pregnancy was not cool. My pregnancy wasn't cool at all. I went through a lot with just my relationship and having different house guests. And I lost my great grandmother very soon in. I think I was only about 10 weeks when my grandma Ruth died. And I remember going to the funeral and feeling a sense of just oneness within myself. I feel like I went to the funeral and I didn't cry. And I loved my grandmother dearly. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I didn't react. I just was kind of there. And I felt like Cayenne was in there already, like doing her thing. She was already kind of that comfort that she still is to this day. And I went on through the summer, starting school, going into community college, and trying to go back to school because I'm having a baby now. So now I can't just drop out of college and just be done. I got to go back to school and get my degree. So I'm going back to school. I'm working through things, but I was just sick. I was going through it. I was on bed rest. I didn't feel good. It got to my birthday. My birthday is August 23rd. And I felt sick. I felt sick. I didn't know what was going on with me. My birthday wasn't my birthday. I never forget. I feel like I had people come over. I called my one homegirl who lived up the street to come over, and she spent the day with me, but I didn't really have much going on. It was truthfully one of those spaces where, as a teenage mom, your friends disappear. They disappear. Everybody wanted to be TT baby. Everybody wanted to be the godmom, but I didn't have no friends. I didn't have nobody around me. I had my man, and that was it. I had my baby daddy. I had his mom, and me and my mom were putting our relationship back together as best as we could because we were falling out at the time. And I just was very alone. I was very alone in my pregnancy. My birthday, it was not my birthday. I didn't like it. And I just kept going through life as just like, you know what, just get this baby out of me. I was 5.5 months and I already was like, get the baby out. But after my birthday, I started losing my vision. Everything just got blurry. It was just like I was living through a blur constantly. I was swelling. I was just getting fat as fuck. I didn't know what was going on. My doctor was telling me I was gaining too much weight. But it didn't matter what I was saying to her. She just didn't seem to be alarmed by anything. Oh, I can't see. Oh, that's normal. Oh, I'm swelling. I feel like I'm gaining too much weight. That's normal. I'm throwing up. I'm 6 months and I'm still throwing up. Oh, that's normal. And all of these things, I found out later, were very much so not normal at all. I should not have been having any of those things go on. So as time passed, our routine changed to him having a new job. He had a job that was across town. So our schedule was, he worked overnight. We would get up about noon the next day. I would cook some food. He would go to work around 4. I would drive him to work. I would go to my grandmother's house, which was up the street from his job. And I would sleep on the couch because I was having extreme migraines and I could not see. So I would literally just try my best to get to my destination. It was only about 5 minutes up the street, and I would sleep on my grandmother's couch. And when it was time for him to get picked up at midnight, I'd get back in my car, try to make it there in the blurriness, and I'd get there and he would drive us home. And that was our schedule. So my mom came into town for my great-grandmother's funeral. My grandma Hattie Bell passed. So I lost 2 great-grandmothers while I was pregnant. My grandmother Hattie Bell passed, and my mom came for the funeral. Remind you, me and her are falling out. We're not really that close. She know I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby, okay? And she came for the weekend for the funeral. I stayed away from her. I think I stayed away from her the whole weekend. It got to Sunday, and it's Sunday dinner. Back then now, y'all know back in the days, it ain't like that no more. My baby 12. So back in the day, Sunday dinner used to be Sunday dinner at your grandma's house. You used to be able to pull up. It didn't matter if you called before you came. You knew it was some food over there, and you knew it was enough for you, or it was going to be made to be enough for you, or you could come bring your food, put it on the grill, whatever it is. My family truthfully used to get together on Sundays. And so Sunday dinner, I asked for gumbo. I wanted gumbo. We pregnant. Me and 2 of my other cousins were pregnant at the same time. So my cousin Tashina was pregnant. My cousin Keandra was pregnant. And Tashina had just had her baby on the 23rd of September. So now this is like the 28th. Well, I'm sorry. This is like the 30th. This is like the 30th, 31st that this is happening. So we're all at grandma's house, and I believe Tashina had brought her baby over for the first time. We were all sitting around, Keandra's still pregnant, and I wanted gumbo. So everybody come over, and when gumbo gets cooked at my grandma's house, everybody coming. It don't matter if it's just, your cousin's second cousin's homegirl. She coming for gumbo too. Everybody coming for the gumbo. So it's a house full of people, and I'm sitting at the head of the table because I was there first. I was on the couch sleep. So I was here when the pot got put on the stove, all right? I was there because I had to drop my man off at work. So I'm the first person with a bowl. I'm sitting there. My mama walks in, and she looks at me. She says, you don't look good. And I'm completely rejecting anything my mama say. At this point in time, everything that comes out of my mama's mouth is mean. It's a critique, and she's just trying to destroy my destiny. She don't want me to be great. She don't want me to be cute, be outside. So I don't want to listen to nothing that she says. I don't want to hear it. But she's looking at me, and she's like, you don't look good. And I'm like, Mom, what you talking about? Like, I'm sitting here trying to eat my gumbo. I don't feel good. Like, what you mean by that? So she's like, nah, you don't look good. She's like, let me check your blood pressure. So she goes and get her blood pressure cuff. She brings it, she puts it on my arm, and it would calculate, but then it would time out. And so she's like, I don't like that. She put it on her own arm, and it gave her blood pressure. She like, okay, that's funny because it's working on me, but it's not working on you. She put it on my cousin, and it worked on my cousin. She put it on another cousin, and it worked on them. She put it back on me, and it times out. She's like, I don't like that. We going to the hospital. I'm like, mama. Like, when I tell you I had not got into my gumbo good. I had only stuck the spoon in there, babe, maybe twice, and she fucking with me. I'm like, bro, what's up? I'm trying to eat this gumbo. I need this, like, can I take it in a Tupperware? She like, fuck that bowl of gumbo. Let's go to the hospital and get your blood pressure checked. I'm like, fine. I'm like, y'all put my gumbo up. I didn't even finish my bowl of gumbo, y'all. So I called my daughter's father. I'm like, look, I'm on the way to the hospital. He like, for what? I'm like, my mama want me to go, man. She being extra. Like, she being extra. I'm going to let you know when we leave. He like, all right, cool. We go to the hospital, and my mom is talking to the lady at the front desk, the check-in lady. And she's like, yes, my daughter here, and she's 26 weeks pregnant. And remind anybody who's never been pregnant, that's only about 6 months pregnant. A baby's supposed to cook for 10 months, y'all. A baby's supposed to cook for 10 months. And I'm 26 weeks. She's telling these people she's 26 weeks. I tried to check her blood pressure. It wouldn't work on my cuff. So I just want to know if somebody could check her blood pressure in the triage. The lady looked at her. She looked at the lady. And I'm just oblivious. A bitch can't barely see. Everything blurry anyway. I'm not seeing no facial expressions. I'm just seeing figures of people. So the lady's like, okay, go to the triage. I ain't never been to the triage that quick in my life. I ain't never been to no ER where they take you straight to the triage. We go straight to the triage. The lady checks my blood pressure. It's like 209 over 80 something, right? I don't know what that means because I ain't no fucking nurse, okay? So I ain't know what that means. But all I knew is she looked at me and she said, Mom, okay, I need you to sit down in this wheelchair. Sit down real slow, real soft for me. So I sit down. I'm completely oblivious, y'all. I'm just living my life. She checked my blood pressure. Oh, big numbers, whatever. I'm not thinking nothing of it. She looks at my mom. She says, hey, Grandma. My mom goes, Nani. She's okay, Nani. She said, I need you to go move your car to the labor and delivery. So I heard her say labor and delivery, but I was like, I just thought I was tripping. Because I'm like, ain't no fucking way. This lady bugging. Did she just say labor and delivery? Because she gotta mean that's just where niggas park at. Ain't no way. Nah, she tripping. When I tell y'all, my mama walked out that door, and the hospital double doors close automatically behind you. You hit a button and then they open and then they close behind you. When them doors touch like this, that lady got behind me in that wheelchair and took off sprinting. We was running in the hospital. And I'm talking about, if you know Rex Hospital, the emergency is here. The fucking labor and delivery is all the way the fuck over there. She is running. And I'm sitting in the wheelchair like, bitch, slow down. She like, oh no, sweetie, it's okay. Everything's fine. I'm like, where we going? She like, you're having your baby today. I'm like, bitch, I'm not having my baby today. She like, yes, you are. Mind you, it's full wind blowing in my fucking hair. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you having your baby today? I'm like, no, I'm not. Push come to shove, they get me in the room. They hook me up. I'm talking about, it's like 16 people. Everybody hooking me up. They doing this, they doing that. And then they hook me up, and then everybody just stopped and waited. They just looking at the monitor like. So I'm like, what's on? Like, shh. I'm like, what the fuck? Then they saw this one big line. Doot, doot. They're like, oh, everybody breathe. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, is my baby okay? They're like, yeah, she alive. And everybody leaves the room. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She alive. They left me in there by myself, okay? They leave me in there by myself. I'm not knowing. These motherfuckers done put something in the goddamn IV. That shit is dripping. I done fell asleep, okay? I fell asleep. I wake up to my whole damn family at the hospital. My whole family at the hospital. My child's father, whole family at the hospital. And everybody looking like I'm about to die. The lights is low in that motherfucker. I'm like, what's going on? Everybody got tears in their eyes. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, okay? The lady comes in, the doctor comes in. She's like, hey, I just want to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay, what's going on? She's like, so, your baby's too small for us, and we just don't have the equipment. We don't have the resources to take care of you. So we need to send you to either UNC or Duke. And I'm like, okay, bet. Well, my auntie work at Duke. She a nurse practitioner over there, so send me to Duke. She says, okay. She walked out, the door closed. It touched the fucking doorknob, okay? And then it opened right back up. And she said, yeah, so Duke doesn't want you either. We're going to send you to UNC. I'm like, okay, cool. Did I have a fucking choice, bitch? Or did you? I feel like she just gave me the choice just for shits and giggles. I don't know. So now I'm finding out I'm moving from Rex Hospital, which is in Raleigh, to go to Chapel Hill, to UNC Hospital, which is a university hospital. It's a teaching hospital, okay? Which I'm very, very worried about because, bitch, y'all don't even know what y'all doing. Y'all learning. So what the fuck, how you gonna help me, bitch? And you talk about the other hospital don't want me. What the fuck are y'all talking about? I was completely in a disarray. But I'm on medicine, Lulu. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. Cool. So now we know I'm moving. They're about to move me. The ambulance is going to come. It's on the way. I'm like, okay. Now they done said only a few people can come in at a certain time because I'm very stressed out. I'm extremely stressed, which Jamila don't feel no stress. I don't give a fuck about no stress because I don't know what the fuck is going on. I just know apparently I'm having my baby today. But ain't nobody really told me what the fuck is going on. But they told my family she's going through too much stress. Y'all can't come see her. So everybody's coming to see me 2 by 2. In that process, I feel like I truthfully realized I was gonna die. Like in that space, I'm like, I'm dying. There's something wrong because everybody was coming to say fucking goodbye. Everybody was coming either to pray, say some nice shit, or literally like, I see you on the other side type shit. Like everybody was coming to me like the energy was low, and nobody was really telling me what was going on. So then the ambulance guy comes in, the ambulance driver, and he's like, okay, we're about to transport you. He was like, I want to ask you a question. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you believe in God? And I'm like, yeah, I do believe in God. And mind you, this is like my daughter's father, his grandparents are in the room, very much so drenched in the Holy Ghost. My mom, very much so drenched in the Holy Ghost. Everybody here, very much so saved, okay? So he's like, all right, we're going to pray. So everybody like, amen, we're going to pray. Everybody gather around my little bed, and we pray. And he prayed for me. And I remember literally like dipping out. I don't even remember being in consciousness while he prayed. I don't even remember what he prayed for. I just remember like when I closed my eyes, I was out of it. And when he was done, I was back in. So now we're on the way to the ambulance. We go in the ambulance and we get in there. And I'm just chilling. I swear to God, I was just chilling in that damn ambulance. He asking me questions. He's like, what's your favorite color? I'm like, blue. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, Raleigh. And the next thing I knew, I was asleep. I'm asleep. We get to the fucking hospital, and you would have thought I was on fucking Grey's Anatomy the way they was snatching me out that fucking ambulance. They snatched me out that ambulance, got me in the hospital, and there was like 19 nurses on me trying to get an IV. It was all this shit going on. I'm in there literally like getting picked, and I have horrible veins. I wish y'all could see from here. I have horrible veins. They have to get the butterfly shit for me. So boom, push come shove. My mama parks her car, gets there. She busted in the room. I'll never forget this shit. It was like a fucking movie. She busted in the room and was like, boom, everybody drop it. And when I tell you needles you just heard all the needles just drop. All the students just backed up. And she said, everybody out. Find your attendant. I'll never forget that day, bro. And she literally like took control of the whole room. And everybody literally left. They listened to her. They left. And I remember my daughter's father coming in and he just hugged me. I just fell in his arms. He's like, it's okay, babe. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, they just keep picking me. They keep poking me. I was at that point in full like panic attack. Can't breathe. So from that moment until I was in a room, I don't remember. It's a complete blur. I don't remember how the fuck I teleported from that room, that initial room, to my actual room, but I got there. I was dressed and I was perfectly fine. So I ended up taking a nap. I came back to, now it's nighttime. So it's nighttime. They're just monitoring me. Things are going the way they're going. Nobody still has not told me what's going on, okay? All this is going down. Now, this is a hindsight, right? I found out later that during that ambulance ride, I like died, had a stroke type shit in the ambulance. And the ambulance hit like 130, 140 on the highway. And my mom and my family members are behind the ambulance, clearly thinking I'm dead or some shit. Because the ambulance is not, this was supposed to be an easy breezy ride from Raleigh to Chapel Hill. And it was not. It was like a fucking high speed chase. Because they literally had the whole highway cleared to get me to where I was going. So I'm not understanding why people are so worried. I'm just like, okay, whatever. They're monitoring my baby. So time passes and my ex-husband, you know what I'm saying, he's doing his thing. Our moms are there and they're like, you know, go home, get some rest. He decides he's going to leave his phone charger with his mom so that his mom could call him if anything happens. Wrong idea. He goes home, his phone dies. Mind you, this is 2012, y'all. This is 2012. I had an Evo, and he had that slide phone with the keyboard to it, baby. We were still in the trenches. Do you understand? We had Androids. We were still in the trenches. All right? Cool. So he left his charger with his mom, and he left. It gets to 6 o'clock in the morning. Them people rush in the room, so yanking up my robe with the probe, trying to make sure my baby's still alive. Oh my God, the baby's heart rate done dropped. We got to take her out right now. And I'm like, no, the fuck, you're not. My baby daddy not here. Y'all tripping. They like, yeah, if he's not here in the next 30 minutes, Nani, I need you to strap up. My mama like, what? Do. She hop up, she ready. She start putting on the fucking scrubs, because of course he doesn't make it. We go for the C-section, and when I get in there, I'll never forget my nurse. Like, I'll never forget my nurse. I really, to this day, I don't remember her name, but I remember it was a black lady, and she was short, she was petite, and she had like freckle moles. Like, I remember her face distinctly. I just don't remember her name. But wherever you are, I hope you watch this, and I hope you know that you changed my life. She gave me the epidural. She was like, they're about to do the epidural. She told me to hug her. And I could feel her. Like, she wasn't saying anything out of her mouth, but she was praying over me in tongues. I could hear it. I could hear it in my soul. I'm like, this lady is hugging me, but she's praying over me. I didn't know what it was, but she was praying over me. I didn't feel nothing the epidural. I don't know if it was hurtful, not hurtful, because I was being hugged so tight. Like, she was praying over me and she was hugging me so tight. I did not feel the epidural. Next thing I know, I can't feel my legs, whatever. They lay me down. Surgery starts. So the surgery starts, and I'm like, okay. My mama's sitting there. She holding my hand. I'm like, everything okay? They're like, yeah. She's like, yeah. She peeking over the little cloth. She like, yeah. She said, oh, I can see her. Oh, I can see her. I'm like, you can see her? They started doing some shit where they was like pushing on me. So I'm feeling myself like, And I'm like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, it's fine. She's like, they just trying to get her out. And I go out. So I go out, I see white, and I started hearing a voice. At first I'm like, is that God? Like, am I hearing God's voice? And then I realized it wasn't God's voice. It was my daughter's father's brother who passed when we were 16. Anthony, I love you so much. Rest in peace. I heard his voice. And I was like, Anthony? He said, yeah. I said, am I about to die? He said, nah, you ain't about to die. He said, you about to go back. Just give it a second. You gonna be okay. I said, I'm gonna be okay. He said, you gonna be okay. He said, say it. I said, say what? He said, say you gonna be okay. I said, I'm gonna be okay. He said, say it again. I said, I'm gonna be okay. He said, say it again. I said, I'm gonna be okay. I heard, say it again. I said, I'm gonna be okay. But this time when I'm saying I'm gonna be okay, I'm opening my eyes and I'm looking at my mom. And my eyes are blinking. And I'm like, I'm gonna be okay. And she's rubbing my head like, you're okay. You're okay. Baby, you okay. And she's literally like freaking out. So I'm not knowing I died. I flatlined during this time, right? So I hear, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Then I hear, and I see my daughter. And I see her little itty bitty body. And they saw her. I said, oh. I said, she's alive. My mom said, she's alive. And they pulled her over. And I heard her. She just, her little cat cry. So I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, she sounds like a cat. So she's like, yeah, she sounds like a cat. And so they sewed me up. Everything's cool. And as they're wheeling me back into the room is when her dad got there. And so he missed the whole delivery. He saw me like as I was coming back into the room. And he was there. His best friend was there with him. And Wes, I love you too. Thank you for always being there for us. He was there. And we in the room. And I done had my baby. So time's passing. And I'm like, so I had a baby today. Where is she at? Because I want to see her. And they're like, oh, nah. You can see her later, but we going to go see her. I'm like, fuck you talking about you going to go see her, nigga. I'm trying to go see her. So they send her dad. He goes to see her. He takes a picture. So I have a picture of her, but I don't know. I ain't never seen my daughter. So day 1 passes. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to let y'all have it. Day 2 passes. I start getting itchy. I'm like, all right, I want to see my baby. And they keep telling me like, oh, my mama, oh, they going down to see her. His mama, oh, I'm going to go get some coffee, go see Cayenne, then I'll come back. Y'all got me fucked up. Everybody got me fucked up. Because everybody done see my baby except me. I'm talking about my family got a line from the waiting room, nigga. It's a line 2 at a time. And he's taking 1 person at a time in a line to see my baby. Everybody got pictures of my baby except me. Everybody done seen her with their eyes except me. I'm not having it. It get to day 3. I always had somebody in the room with me. There was always somebody there, where it was my mama or his mama or him or somebody like that. Mind you, still no friends. Bitch still ain't got no friends, okay? So it's just them, right? And Time's passing, and I'm like, okay, somebody got to leave. I'll never forget. His mama said, I'm about to go get some coffee. I said, you better go get some coffee? I said, okay. They told me they feed my baby at 5, 8, 12, and 2. It was about 8 o'clock. I said, all right. Boop. Let me hit the nurse line. I hit the nurse line. Sweet lady came in there. Sweet lady. She didn't know I was about to mess up her whole fucking day. I was about to fuck all her shit up. All her peacefulness. She came in there. She wiping her hands with the hand sanitizer. You need something? I said, if you don't take me to see my motherfucking baby right now, bitch, I'm going to pull this IV out of my arm. She said, no, don't do that. I said, I swear to God, I'm going to snatch it out. She was like, no, please. I said, I swear to God, if you don't take me to see my baby, I'm taking it out. I'm taking off the fucking tape. She said, wait. She said, you're too sick. I said, I don't care. I want to see my baby right now. I started tweaking, crashing out in that motherfucker. I started knocking over shit, all types of shit. I'm like, take me to see my baby right now. She's like, okay, I'm going to go get a wheelchair. So she went to go get a fucking wheelchair. She had to go get one of them ones where they had to hang the IV because, you know, a bitch on morphine or some shit. They had me on something. I was a little delulu. They had me on some shit, Percocet, something. But anyway, so she comes to get me. She takes me down. I go see my baby. In the NICU, they had different pods. So it was like pod A, pod B, pod C, pod D, pod E, pod F, and pod G. Based on your pod was how close you were to going home. A was right by the door. So if you was in A, you was almost on your way home in the NICU. You at G, you might be there for a while. Guess where the fuck my baby decided to be at? In G. And right beside the sickest fucking baby in the goddamn hospital. Got staph infection, the trachea, all that shit. My baby right beside the damn hardest baby to deal with in that motherfucker. My baby right beside that motherfucker. I said, bitch, ain't this about a fucking mess? How the fuck my baby get all the way back? I'm talking about we in the back. We in the back in the cabinet where they forget the babies is even at. It's dark back there. Barely got light. The baby beside her didn't even have no arms. His mama wouldn't even come visit him. That's how bad it was. He didn't even have no visitors. That's how sick that baby. I said, you know what? I said, this is not for my child. I don't know what this is. So this is not for my baby. And Ethan's mom, rest in peace, Ethan. You are loved, angel baby. His mom, the one with the trach, she was in there. And I learned how to be a NICU mom from watching Whitney. Whitney has now remarried and had a brand new baby. And she is very much so happy. But she did lose Ethan a little bit after we all left the NICU. But Ethan was very, very sick. He was very sick. And that girl lived at the hospital damn near. She lived there. She didn't ever leave. We didn't ever not see Whitney with her baby. And that taught me how to stay strong. That taught me how to be okay with the process. That taught me how to trust the nurses, but also know that I could be in that motherfucker if I wanted to. They couldn't never tell me that I couldn't be there. So on that first day, I went to go see her 3 days in. I just cried. I just sat at the incubator and I just cried. It wasn't anything that I could do, I could say. I was mad at myself. I was angry. I didn't know if it was my fault. My baby was only 1 pound, 11 ounces. And by day 3, she was losing weight. They were trying to figure out what was going on. At this point now, my mom is forcing me to breastfeed. I'm making milk. I'm making a whole lot of milk. But I just was not happy with the whole process. I wanted to breastfeed. I wanted my baby to get my milk from me. I wanted her to feel me, get held by me. I couldn't even take my baby out the incubator. She was so small and not ready for the world that I couldn't even hold her yet. And it was just my fault. I feel like it was my fault. I feel like whether I should have called my doctor more, whether I should have took more vitamins, whether I should have not engaged in as many arguments with my ex as I would, like, as with her dad as much as I did. Like, I just felt like it was all my fault. And I didn't do nothing but cry. I cried for days. Day 3, I didn't hold my baby till day 15. I didn't hold her till she was 15 days old. And when I held her for the first time, we did skin to skin. And I still have a picture of the first time Cayenne, like, touched my chin. She reached up and she touched my chin and she put her hand in my mouth. She, like, tucked her finger in my mouth. And that was her thing. She tucked her finger in my mouth and I would sing. And I would sing Can't Keep My Eyes Off of You by Lauryn Hill. That's her song. And I would sing it. And she would just hold either she would hold my chin or she would hold my lip. And I would sing to her. And I would go back every day. 5, 8, 12, and 2. I was going to be there. I didn't care if I was at home and I was coming back or whatever it was. I was going to come see my baby. Cayenne was in the NICU for 2 months, and she got out before her due date, which was a blessing. She left the hospital at 4 pounds, 5 ounces. We named her Miracle because she was a miracle. She's not supposed to be here. Cayenne was supposed to be gone. She was born 26 weeks. 1 pound, 11 ounces, not breathing on her own, had to get steroids and all that different type of stuff just to make sure that her organs was properly working and growing the proper way. And to this day, I still do my best to try to advocate for NICU parents. I do my best to try to speak about my journey and the things that I've been through because of the fact that I was neglected in my prenatal care. I was very much so neglected. They tried to blame it on it being, one of her first years as a practicing gynecologist and all this extra shit. I didn't care. I wasn't heard. I wasn't listened to. Nobody took my needs seriously. I was 19 years old, and I feel like they were looking at me as, this is just this little girl, she's pregnant, and she doesn't know how to handle pain, or this is, none of the things that I was dealing with was normal. The blurred vision, the headaches, the swelling and the weight gain, the throwing up, the late sickness, none of that was normal. None of it was normal. And in that space, not only did I fall in love with myself and my life, because I literally died on the table and was given a second chance in life, but I also realized that birth work was extremely important. And I fell in love with the process of nurturing a pregnant woman from that very moment of me realizing and researching for myself as I grew that I didn't have to be treated that way, that I could have had a doula that was there, that knew what to do, that knew the things. I really took time to actually see that it wasn't something that I had to deal with and that it was something I was never going to deal with again. It was something that I feel like not only was it meaningful for my life, but I also know that it was meaningful for my daughter's life, because her coming into the world with such a powerful story is truthfully the reason why she can walk around and be called a miracle and know that she's exactly that, know that she's meant to be here. I feel like I love the fact that that is a gift that my daughter has, the fact that she can actually know that I wasn't supposed to be here, but I am. They tried to kill my daughter twice. They tried to tell me that I was having a miscarriage, and then they tried to tell me that she wasn't going to survive being born early. They tried to take me out with that shit. That's how important she is. That's how important she is to the circle of life, because she is truthfully here for the reason that she is here. My daughter, I used to dream of her being a star. I used to dream of her on stages. I used to dream of her being a superstar. She was born with the voice of an angel. My daughter will be on stages. My daughter will sing, and she will use her voice for God's glory. And I know that because it was told to me when she was in my womb. And I feel like in those spaces, I can't do anything but thank God for the experience that I have to actually have that as a realization, as a space where I can actually know that my daughter's here for a reason. There's a lot of people that have kids and you pop up and get pregnant when you're a teenager and you look at them as a burden, or you look at them as something that was a mistake. And I knew from the moment that I knew I was pregnant that Cayenne was not a mistake, that she was supposed to be here. And I'm so glad that I still have my daughter to this day. Like, I'm glad that neither one of us perished in that moment. And if there's anything that I can do in this session of the Theezenden, I really would love for another mom of a premature baby to understand that it's going to be okay, that your baby is going to grow and heal. And if y'all were to see my daughter today, you would have never thought she was born 1 pound, 11 ounces. You would know that that girl ain't missed not a 9 meal since she came out of this body. She definitely does not look like what she's been through. And I feel like the gift in that is not only mine, but it's everybody else's in my family as well. All of us are able to look at Cayenne and see her as truthfully as a miracle. And I thank God every day that I didn't die on that table and that I was brought back. I also thank my ancestors for protecting me and covering me in that moment. But with that being said, I hope that this is something that can help somebody. I hope that this can inspire somebody to take care of themselves during your pregnancy. If you are realizing symptoms that you know are not okay, you don't feel okay, your heart doesn't feel okay, your head doesn't feel okay, your body doesn't feel okay, go to your doctor and say something. Go to another doctor and say something. If you're at one of those doctor's offices where you see a different doctor every time, call and tell the nurse. Make sure that it's on record. Make sure that it is on file. Make sure that you are saying something. You are not to be stomaching through things. You are not to be, oh, I'll be all right. I'll be okay. It's not that bad. This is just pregnancy. say something, because it could be a matter of life or death. If it wasn't for my angels watching me, if it wasn't for the fact that I was covered and prayed over, I might not have lost my great grandmother. My mother may have never came into town to be the one to tell me that I wasn't okay. Because a mother's intuition, she knew her child wasn't all right. And that's why I'm alive today. Because somebody looked at me and said, you don't look good. And even though I rejected the process, I'm living today. I'm breathing today. My daughter's 12, and that's a blessing. So whoever this is, if somebody is watching after you and they feel like something is wrong, trust in their intuition. If you feel like something's wrong, go to the hospital. Fuck waiting for your next appointment. My daughter's birthday is October the 1st. And I was supposed to go for my gestational diabetes test on October the 2nd. I died on the 1st and was brought back to life. And I remember that every single day, that if I would have continued to wait for my appointment, I would be dead right now. I would be a tombstone. My daughter would have never had a mom had I waited for my appointment. So this is me here telling you, don't wait for your appointment. Don't forget that you have advocacy. You can get a doula. You can have a friend that had a baby that knows what it's like. There is ways and resources for you, okay? And if you can't find resources, make sure that you tap in with the ones that you have. Here in the Theezenden, you can always DM me and ask me for a doula referral or a midwife referral. I will always be there, and I'll definitely have one for you. There's a whole database that we can get you in contact with so that you can find the healthcare professionals that you're looking for. I hope this can help. I love you guys. Peace and love. Until next time.